The women's tennis team doesn't get very many challenges during Big Ten play. After all, they have won 11 straight conference titles in what has become a tradition every spring in Evanston.
The Northwestern Wildcats are one win away from all but ensuring themselves of a bowl spot. The only problem? They have to face the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Everyone knows that the Big Ten is widely considered to be the best wrestling conference in the country. It's something we reiterate every week on this show. And the Wildcats' challenging slate continued Sunday as they visited the 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. And the result was, just like wrestling, not pretty. The Buckeyes demolished NU by a final score of 37-6. The Wildcats taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. First play of the game, Drew Crawford drive baseline 2 and slam, and the Wildcats immediately up 2-0. They would not look back against Indiana. Later on, this is Jeremy Nash driving, kicks it out. This is Juice Thompson from the top of the key, knocking down the triple. He finished with 12 points and 6 assists. Every Wildcat starter scored in double figures. For Indiana, it was the Verdell Jones III show, a runner in the lane. He had 28, an excellent performance, but Jeremy Nash, the senior, knocking it down. Nash, an excellent game, 13 points for him, a double-double, and Indiana forced to call timeout. And then Juice Thompson spinning, finding Drew Crawford, going down low. Mike Kaposi with a two-hand dunk. You know things are going well with Kaposi is throwing down slam dunks. Wildcats beat the Hoosiers 78-61. Who are these guys? That's the question many NU fans were asking about the Wildcats receivers entering the 2009 football season. The answer came last week against Syracuse. These guys may not be household names, but they're pretty good, as NU gained 414 yards through the air. But still, they feel like people have no clue who they are.
They'll have to find out sooner or later. I think that we made a good case for it last Saturday night.
The two team leaders in receptions, former walk-on Zeke Markshausen and sophomore Drake Dunsmore, had 3 combined career catches entering this year. This season, they each have 13. But stats don't matter to these cats.
We're a pretty humble group, and we got a group of guys that are just kind of brothers in there, and it doesn't matter who catches the balls on Saturday. All we're really going for is a win.
Come Saturday at Ryan Field, this so-called anonymous receiving corps will be introducing themselves to the Big Ten when the Wildcats take on the Gophers. But head coach Pat Fitzgerald wants these receivers to remain the best-kept secret in the entire conference.
I think the way we're doing right now, I think nobody knows about them. I think we'll be okay. So just leave it as it is. Let their play speak for them. They're just playing hard.
The Cats receivers have embraced the role of the unknown players for now, but Markshausen thinks that'll change soon.
We're going to keep doing what we're doing, and at the end of the season, we'll see if we're anonymous or not.
Maybe the bright lights of Big Ten play will blow their cover. Aaron Morse, NNN Sports. Steve Sanders came to Northwestern in 2006 expecting to pitch for Paul Stevens and the Wildcats, but he did not make the roster until now. His story is one of perseverance, loyalty, and ultimately triumph.
I'd say the only time I ever thought about leaving was probably my sophomore year. I came in my freshman year with the hopes of playing, but knowing that my shoulder surgery was probably going to prevent that.
Getting cut his sophomore year was perhaps the biggest challenge of Steve Sanders' baseball career. But the right-hander from Los Angeles kept his playing hopes alive by joining the club baseball team his junior season. Then, after coming to fall ball and impressing the coaches, he earned a roster spot on the varsity and fulfilled a dream.
I've been picturing that for 3 years, and Coach and I have talked about that. And the first time I step on that mound and my dad gets to see that, that's really what it's all about.
Sanders dominated club baseball last year, but says the goal has always been to play at the D1 level. He says that he is most excited about his parents, including his dad, a Northwestern alum, finally getting a chance to see him play. But his departure from club ball was not easy for his former teammates to take. After all, he helped lead them to a league championship last season.
Disappointment. We were kind of pissed just because he's one of our most valuable players and we really need him in the middle of the lineup.
I became real close to those guys and hated letting them know that I had to leave the team.
But he is joining a team that could definitely use some help in the bullpen after posting a team ERA of 6.39 last year. They have never made the Big Ten tournament during Sanders' time in Evanston, but the righty says he wants to help them win the Big Ten title this year. A lofty goal to be sure, yet head coach Paul Stevens says Sanders brings the intangibles to the table you have to have if you're going to be a champion.
He is a jack of all trades when it comes to somebody on a roster that you definitely need, and he is just one of the the best people I've ever been around.
Sanders says that his parents will be making the trip to South Carolina to see the team open their season this Friday. He has no specific individual goals for the year, but he did tell me he wants to put his stamp on the program and leave a legacy he can be proud of.